Hi, David Hart here from G4 Guitar. In this video, I'm going to talk about arpeggios. Arpeggios are fantastic. Arpeggios are what give chords a completely different feel and a completely different life. So I'm going to play a chord here, which is an A minor, just that straight chord. That's an A minor. But if I play it like this, you can hear that it sounds like Stairway to Heaven, because it is. That's what they've done. They've taken an A minor chord and they're playing a few different variations on the A minor chord, plus a few extra chords in there, and they're getting that beautiful kind of angelic sound by breaking the chord down into what we call a harmonic arpeggio. And the reason it's called a harmonic arpeggio is because the notes are being held. You can hear I'm holding every note there. So there's different kinds of harmonic arpeggios, but that gives you an idea that where we hear all the notes being played together. And it's a beautiful sound, and it's something that it's one of my favorite things to do on guitar, is to play arpeggios. But there is another kind of arpeggio which we call a melodic arpeggio, and in this case what we're doing is that we play it like a riff, and most guitarists call these kind of arpeggios riffs, but they're arpeggios. So what we're doing here is, and maybe that sounds familiar to you as well, which is because it's pretty warm. But it's still an arpeggio. I'm playing one note at a time out of the chord. So that's where it comes from. The arpeggio comes from the chord. So in this case, it's actually from a G7 chord, and it's the notes. Those four notes are what we call a straight up G7 arpeggio. So as you learn the chords, you'll learn that there are also arpeggios that go with every chord, and understanding and knowing how to play arpeggios is really going to make a big difference. So what can I tell you about arpeggios? What do you need to know? It really depends on the arpeggio, but the idea is to try and keep the notes sounding even. So if again we come back to that Stairway to Heaven, I don't want notes that sound sort of uneven. I want them all to, there's a kind of flow there often with arpeggios, and that's something to keep in mind. But then there's notes that are accented. If you can hear that, where I'm accenting the first of each time I play that. So I'm getting that accent out, so that sort of carries the melody, and it depends again, of course, on what the piece is. But arpeggios generally, just keep in mind that they should sound even. They should have that kind of flowing sound. Now, when you're using a pick, it's a good idea to sort of move in the same direction. So if I'm doing this Pretty Woman here, where I'm playing across those strings, then it's generally a good idea to go in that direction. But again, it depends on what you're doing. But just keep it in mind as a general rule to be going in that one direction, whether it's down or in an up direction, and kind of keep it smooth. And again, just like the chords, make sure every note sounds, that you can hear every note being articulated. Arpeggios are even more important than chord playing. And one of the great things about arpeggios, which I like, is that it really teaches you to play better chords. Your chord playing improves dramatically. In the early years when I started playing, I didn't really play arpeggios. I thought they were too difficult. But then once I started using them, I found my chord playing improved dramatically. So hopefully that's helped, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks, guys.